nice.
That was good, right?
Nice. That was nice.
Okay, that was good.
I saw it. If they didn't see it, it's okay.
That's
because
okay.
I saw
That's
it.
all that matters is that somebody saw it. Happy Sunday, everybody!
Oh yes, happy Sunday.
Wait, next Sunday is gonna be what?
January 6th.
Dang, Melanie, are we back?
February 16th.
Oh, so okay.
Yes.
So Valentine's already happened.
Oh yes, that is true.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I hope everyone
yeah.
had.
a good Valentine's.
Yeah.
A really happy.
People were creative.
People were detailed. You felt loved.
That's what matters.
Yeah, that's what matters.
That you both
felt loved.
Yeah, not just one,
Not just
but
one,
both.
but both, exactly.
And with friendship,
Same thing. And with your family members, same thing. Show them give them a little chocolate. Valentine's Day is not just for your partners, with your kids as well.
oh, that's true.
Give them a card. Happy Valentine's Day.
you
give
know
them a chocolate.
You know, just reminded me of something.
What?
You know who who showed me what Valentine's was and what we were supposed to do was my dad.
Yeah, my dad too.
Yeah, my dad used to bring me the same gifts he got my mom,
Yeah.
but smaller version, like for me.
Oh, yeah, no, my dad would give my mom, me, and my sister. So
Ah,
I
okay.
think, that's why I always say I get things from my mom, but my dad he's very detailed. So I think I get that from him because he showed me, right, what
So-
that is. So I expect it.
Okay, there we
Yeah.
go.
And I still have those, like what he used to give me.
Mhm.
I don't know if you ever saw them. It was those corny Valentine's Day gifts,
Man.
but it was for my dad. So I took them. It was like a balloon with the teddy bear, and like those things that were made. Yeah, those.
Yes, I appreciated that.
Yeah.
Because for me, I thought Valentine's Day was for couples, but then when my
No.
dad started to bring me stuff as well, I'm like, oh, this is
Right.
nice. Now, in school, or even for the girls back there, in high school, did you get like in homeroom, somebody used to come in and used to be like, is Melanie here?
Oh,
if you
those
raised your
things. I never
hand-
got it, but other people did.
We should cue the violin right now. Can they hear that too?
They should. We hear it.
Oh my god, that was good.
Um,
Yeah. I don't know if that was nice to do.
No, I don't think it was for people like. Did you get them?
I did. Well, I
Oh.
had no, but not by guys, by my
Right.
girlfriends,
Oh,
like my friends,
but that's
like
good
we used to
too.
give to each other.
I didn't even get that.
Oh,
But then
they're laughing
it's
back
okay.
there.
It's okay.
No, but I used to see, I used to see a lot of girls leave with like balloons and teddy bears. This one girl with a huge balloon walking around the whole school, and you're just like, oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Must be nice. No, there was a time. Oh man, there was a time. There was this guy that like really like was the sweet one, and he would get me these things. But because I was always just drawn to the not so good guys, I would ignore it. Eventually, when I became an adult, I realized no.
Why?
Why?
That's a different subject.
Yes.
Like, why were we drawn to bad
Yes,
boys? Different
Yeah.
subject.
But-
different episode.
But we hope you guys had a good Valentine's Day. That is what we were trying to say. And yeah, we'll shift it into art.
Shift away,
Just
Melanie.
Shift away. I mean, we're still on the love month. We're still talking about relationship with our loved ones. Again, not just our couple, with anyone. But we're gonna get into what social media has done and how it really has had an effect on relationships. in general, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I know, I mean, if you guys have seen us from the beginning, right, there's a big age gap between me and Co. So I know this topic is gonna be interesting.
Oh, okay.
because because I know like your point of view is, I mean, you probably have more of memory of what it was really like before social media. I think from the moment that I remember, social media was already a thing. But I do remember a little bit before technology really took a big shift. Because I
Yeah,
think even when I was little, it wasn't as much. So, there
yeah,
was a difference. But once I already started to get me myself, started getting into relationships, it was already a thing. Um, and it has only increased dramatically since then.
before social media, Melanie, I was thinking about that. And I grew up in a time where there was nothing, not even a phone
Yeah.
at that moment. There was no phones yet. And, sometimes I laugh and I say, thank you, God, that I was not born during this time and that there were no cameras or phones back in the days.
Yeah.
Not that I was a bad, you know, girl, but still, I think some stuff were embarrassing that I probably
Yeah.
will regret right now. But thank God that wasn't. But I social media now, like I said, I don't think people could live without it. On the other hand, since I grew up at a time that I didn't have it, I think I could live without it. I was more connected to my friends. I had deeper relationships with, you know, potential partners. We would go out on dates and be with each other and be present.
Right.
The lovey-dovey stuff, looking into each other's eyes, asking the right questions, having fun, talking, having conversation. That's what was
Right.
important. And now what you see is it's just the phone
Yeah.
before you even see their faces.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm glad I grew up in a season where we didn't have none of that stuff. And I put their teenage years because I wanted to remember that social media is good and bad, right? But for me, social media has become a place where, oh my God, you feel like you have to like post everything that you do. Sometimes some people live vicariously through social media.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have that pressure growing up.
Right.
I did not have a pressure of I have to look a certain way. My relationship has to be a certain way. The closest thing we had was magazines, and that's if you bought the magazine. And if you didn't have that, then you would just have the best friendships. You will have the best relationships according to you
Yeah.
and what your parents taught
Taught
you,
you.
you know? So I didn't have the pressure of anything, of not look. I didn't have to look a certain way.
Mm.
My relationships didn't have to be a certain way. So I'm glad that I had that freedom
Yeah.
and space. And nowadays, I feel bad for the youth
Yeah.
because they look at social media and they think this is what my relationship is supposed to look like. This is what I have to look like. And this is the type of friendships that I need.
Yeah, it's true. And like I said, it's funny because I like obviously now I recognize the type of person that I am and that I've really always been. But because when you're in your teenage years, you you have social media, it's so easy for you to get caught up and be like, okay, just on it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I remember before even having, like, my parents allowed me to even have a phone or had any of that. It's same thing with relationships, like in general. Let's say it was the social media, but it was just all through the phone. Like, it was just like never really had the experience of going on dates or anything like that until, like, you know my adult years, where obviously I didn't do things the correct way
Mhm.
in the correct
Yeah,
pattern,
yeah,
but
yeah.
but before that, like that wasn't even like, it was just always through the phone, text messaging, phone calls, like all of that. But it wasn't really like I got to experience like what you're saying, right? Like the in-person type of
Oh.
interaction.
But you
um
know what? I think I like better the before I even got to the stage of like going out on a date with someone, Melanie. Before back then, it was um, what was that called? The mess. Not you know how Facebook has Messenger.
yeah.
Back then, it was MS. No, what was it? Wasn't there another one? There was another one. The
Oh yeah,
AOL.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
So
that.
you will have to have conversation with someone.
Yeah.
You have to have that conversation, and you could spend hours just typing with someone. And you know how many times I fell in love with someone that I didn't even see because we were talking, we were
Right.
having deep conversations, and then when you finally
Yeah,
get to see
like that
them,
spark connection was already there.
sometimes.
Oh my god. Sometimes it wasn't.
Sometimes
Like once you saw them, you were like, I get it. But going back to like social media in general, not just like communication wise, it definitely just brings a lot of insecurities. A lot of insecurities. And not just I wouldn't say it wasn't so much in my teenage years, but even going into your adulthood, right? It starts in your teenage years, but I think for me personally, technology and social media in general started growing like dramatically, like I would say, well, they would, yeah, my adult years. And because I consider myself becoming an adult like after I became a mom. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
All right.
I
Yeah.
like that's it. I stopped being a teenager.
I know. You had to
it
grow
just
up.
yeah, it just,
Yeah.
it had to happen. So I think then it's when aside from everything happening personally, like it was a lot of just insecurities that brought social media. But thank God, like now I'm drifting away from it. Because I've always been like that, to be like, if I'm really honest,
Mhm.
I've never liked that pressure of like posting my whole life. Like there's people that really do that, like literally. Like there's not a day that they don't post something on their story about what
They're doing.
yeah, what they're doing. And my mentality, right? This is my opinion. Like I can't.
You
That's
can't do it.
no.
You see, I watch people that do that, and I find comfort in their lives.
Right.
Like when they
because-
don't post,
yeah, you begin.
what happened? Where
Because
are
you
you?
You get used to it.
I don't even know who they are, but it's like
Yeah.
I feel like they're part of my family. Like, hello, it's been 2 days, 3 days. What's going on here? I mean, if they can do that, good for them. Like, I don't have a problem with that.
Right,
Please do it.
but
You're
don't you-
entertaining me.
Yeah, but isn't that sad? But isn't that sad?
But why? It depends on who you watch. Like, it depends on who you watch and why you're watching it
But
for.
I just think I always go back to the mental side of it. I just always go back to, what do you think they're feeling? Like,
Well, that's what. Yeah. What for me is like, there's some people you could tell that they're intentionally posting every single day, because they feel lonely,
Yeah.
and they don't have friends, and their friends are the people that are watching them.
right.
That's a sadness that I do feel about certain people. There are other people who just want to post because they want to show the luxury of their lives,
Right.
and then there's other people who are just like me, like Melanie. If if you would have known me back then, like I used to record all the time.
Yeah.
Like
I know, I've
vlogging.
noticed it. Yeah.
All the time, all my friends, everyone. I actually for the month of December, I used to do what was called Vlogmas, and I used to record from December 1st all the way to December 25th. And then as I started to do it, each year would increase. So then it would start from Thanksgiving all the way to New Year's. So that was every single day posting. All of my friends knew, all of my family knew. Actually, there was one year that all of my friends were actually recording themselves and making clips, and they would send it to me, and they will be put into my vlogmas.
Oh,
So it's like, but what I'm trying to say is, I was a comfort for other people that were watching.
right.
And they were looking at us like, oh, wow, you have so many friends. I wish I could have friends like that. Oh, you guys are so happy. We're exuding something that the world needs.
Yeah.
So if you have a great intention in what you're trying to show the world, then why not do it?
Mm.
When social media is, what's the right word I can use? Is it's trying to promote promiscuity. It's trying to promote a luxurious life. It's trying to promote you have to look a certain way. It's trying to promote relationships need to look like this and feel like this. Friendships need to be this way. And you get so bombarded with all of that on social media, and then you sit and you look at your life and you're like,
Yeah.
do you hear the birds? What happened? Where's my life? Why is my life like that? No, it doesn't have to be that way. You
Right.
have to be content with what you have. And if you don't have it, well, you know what? I think that I'm trying to show you a place where you can have that the nice way,
Right.
with good intentions.
the correct way.
Yes, the correct
Yeah.
way. So it depends on what you're trying to show off on social
Exactly.
media.
But yeah, but then that's what it's filled with. So
Mm.
I think a lot of people need to learn how to stay away from it for a little while, for them to realize the world that they're living in, what they feel, to be able to know their emotions, what's in their heart, what's in their mind, stay away from it for a little bit, and be able to, okay. And I say it because that's really, where I'm at right now. I stirred away from it for a little while, and then I was able to really stop, like, focus on what I have.
I'm gonna say something personal. I used to promote a lot of my relationship on social media. Okay. And I used to do it, and I used to show this lovey-dovey relationship, this communicative relationship, this intimate relationship. See my expressions. And what I wasn't receiving from my mate, I was receiving from the people that were watching those videos and writing, wow, your relationship is so beautiful. Wow, I want that. I pray that I get what you have. And inside,
You felt the opposite.
that was not what was happening in the four walls.
Mhm.
What I was doing was trying to promote something that was not real, but it was an imaginary land in my head that I
Right.
wish that it was like that.
Like, it was what you needed.
Yes.
But you weren't being realistic with your heart, with yourself.
So I understand
And
the part that you're
that's-
saying.
Yeah, that's where a lot of people are at, though.
Yeah,
That's why
yeah.
they promote so much things that are not true.
Yeah.
Like, they do so much fakeness.
Yeah. So
you
you're
know?
right.
Yeah. And so and at least what helped me when I was too insecure and too focused on things that I shouldn't, I started unfollowing a lot of people, a lot of celebrities and stuff that just see. And again, this comes from just having an intimate relationship with God.
Yeah.
Because he starts talking to you and
Yeah.
telling you, be honest with yourself. Is this making you insecure? Bye. It's just being able to determine what you feel when you watch it, being honest with yourself, and then knowing that it's okay. Bye. Unfollow.
Yeah.
No,
Or why are
that's-
you following
yeah,
them in the first
what-
place? Mm-hmm.
What is that bringing to my life? Is
Mhm.
that bringing any positivity? Is that bringing any joy? Is that bringing anything good in your life? If it's not, then I don't think it should be there.
Mhm.
Then start following, encouraging stuff. Like you said, people that when there are people that are posting with good intention, with good heart.
Absolutely.
You will know.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
God will allow you to know.
Yeah.
He will open your eyes and reveal to you, no, this is not doing you any good, and you need to stay away from it. So in a way, it's like, yeah, social media is part of life.
Right
unfortunately
now, yeah.
we live in a modern world, and actually, yeah, you kind of can't stay away from it, especially, if you, let's say you have your own business, or you're you're not close to your loved ones, right? They live far away, or whatever the reason may be. So sometimes it's good to have that. It's what we have now. It's the world
Mhm.
we live in. Like, we
Mhm.
just there's just no way around it. But it's just knowing how to use it.
A balance. It's
Yeah,
called balance.
it's and then, like you said, it's doing it with a good intention. First, start with yourself. What are you posting? Be realistic with yourself.
Yeah.
And then from there, you will be able to determine whether the other people that you follow are doing it with that same intention as well.
I stayed off of I disconnected from social media for a whole year. And let me tell you something. It was you do not realize how much you look for the approval of people until you get off of social media, because you want the likes. You want the words. And that goes into the next episode, which is so great about this. But it's like, when I was off of that social media for a whole year, I did a purge. I did a massive purge. And then I said, why am I doing this? Just shut it down. Shut it down. And that's what I did. I shut down my Facebook. I shut down my Instagram. And I said, no more. I don't need none of this right now. I need to fix this right here. And then eventually, after a year, I came back again. But I only have my close friends on my social media right now. Because all I want to see, and all I want them to see, is the progress that I'm in right now. So I don't need none of that other stuff. Unnecessary stuff. It was taking too much. Social media takes too much of your time.
It does.
If you didn't know this.
Oh yeah, it does.
We could be. You know why we're not on our phones right now? Because we're doing a podcast.
And we're talking.
Yeah. But if not, you can be in a room full of people having conversation, and there's always one.
Yeah.
And you're like, are we not present in the room? We're all here together. Be present. Put the phone away. The posts are not going to disappear. They're going to stay there.
But you do realize, and this is what I'm saying, like, technology has advanced so much, because everything they add is just reeling people
to pull you in.
Like, if you guys haven't realized that.
But you know what TikTok does, right?
Right. No, I know. That's why I stirred away from TikTok.
It sends you an email.
Yeah.
to remind you to come back.
Yes. Oh, during my fast. You should have seen the notifications that I was getting. I was like, can you let me be? I'm trying to do something with my life. It's sad when you really sit down and start analyzing, the world that we live in. It's sad.
Yeah.
It really is, because if you go back to just a couple of years, I would say probably what 10 years, that it has changed so dramatically.
5, Melanie.
Yeah, like, it's before the things,
since 2020.
social media, like Instagram used to just be where you post and that's it.
Yeah.
Then came the stories. Then came, like, that they disappear, which is, guys, that encourages you to go on social media every day and be like, I want to see people's stories before they disappear. Everything that they add, guys, it's a form for you to get back in, because they know that I don't know how else to say this, but they know that you are gonna go back and fall back into the trap.
You're fiending for it.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm lying.
Yes,
because you just looked at your phone. You just went and looked at your TikTok, Instagram. You scrolled. You put it down. Not even 60 seconds later, you go back at it again. What did you miss? Nothing.
Right.
So you have to understand that's an addiction.
It's
It's an addiction.
it is. But a lot of people don't look at it that way.
No,
I
no.
just a lot of people have that when they think of addiction, it's drugs, alcohol. Guys, there's so many other forms of addiction now, and social media, technology in general is one of them.
And how does that affect relationships?
In a lot of ways. And then we were just speaking about it in not our last but the first one for this month, communication. Well, why can't you communicate in person? You know, for me, why is community no, I see. It's just look, and I always relate back to myself, right? Because I don't like speaking on things that I haven't personally gone through. Like, I just think I always like realize like what's, thank God for that. But it's a lot of people don't know how to communicate in person, but they can communicate through text.
Yeah.
Isn't that sad?
Yeah.
Like that you have your partner there and, you guys are not speaking to each other, and then you guys have an argument, and then you're able to just say everything that you should have said when you were there in front of each other. Like, that's not okay. And that's the world that we're living in now. That's how teenagers are getting into relationships.
I don't think teenagers know how to communicate.
They don't
know how to communicate because they're stuck on this phone 24/7. They don't see the outside world. They just look like this, and then they go back down and then come back up for air when somebody's talking to them, and then they go back in. They're so sucked into this. Jokingly, I always say, like, God, can you please one day turn off the cell tower?
Yes.
Just turn it off for one day so everyone can be present. My biggest pet peeve, Melanie.
What is it?
It's the phone. It's the phone. That's my biggest pet peeve. I
get it.
I don't understand. I do not understand how, how you're present with you and me in this. Like we're having a conversation and the phone ding. You have to it's like a zombie. It's robotic. It's robotic at this point because we could have a deep conversation and that thing will go ding and you just grab it. Oh yeah. How are you having two conversations at the same time? You can't. You're missing one. And you're missing one of them, and there's always the one that's physically in front of you.
Yeah.
So then they go, what did you say? Do you think that I want to have the conversation with you after that? After I was priority and then you put me secondary? No. I feel like grabbing that phone sometimes and just throwing it. Like, this is a blessing and it's a curse.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Nobody knows how to have real conversations unless it's a phone. This saves you supposedly from awkward moments, because you could be again in a room full of people, and instead of interacting with someone, what happens? You grab your phone. I feel safe right here. You're not doing anything. You're not even looking at anything. But this is safe right now. Let me just pretend. But you're looking around to see who can come and like talk to you. Okay.
That is so true.
Do you see what this has done to us?
Yeah.
Can I keep going?
Yeah.
Keep going? How about at nighttime when you're about when you're gonna go You're gonna go to sleep, but you need a whole hour on your phone before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
I don't, I don't have, don't take too much of my time because I need to get on my phone. Like, let's do what we gotta do. I gotta get on my phone.
Yeah.
You rather be on your phone than being present with anyone. You rather be on your phone because it's your comfort instead of mingling with people. This has become an idol in our life.
Yeah.
Whether we like to admit it or not. For adults, it has become an excuse for any little reason. What I was really gonna say, like when you're in the bed with your mate, sometimes I have heard this from a lot of couples that they rather scroll all night long than just being there with their mate. That's a problem.
That's a huge problem.
That's a problem.
Just being present.
It's a blessing and a curse.
It's just knowing.
Having a balance.
Having a balance. Knowing. I always say there's a limit to everything. Like, and even this, there's a limit to it. Now, like if you're saying, let's say you have things to do on a day, right? And you like, okay, let me just get back to this. Well, like even that, right? Let's say the example that you just gave, right? That someone's talking to you, right? And then let's say you get a text. Okay, like you see who it is, right? It's my partner, it's my mom. And I say this because that's what I do, right? Those are the people that I gotta respond, right? Okay. Hey, I'm so sorry. My mom texted me. Okay, now continue. So it's just, you're doing it with a good intention.
Yeah.
But if you're just like talking to someone and you're just like, okay, like I do need to go on my Instagram right now. There is no apparent reason. I just want to go on my Instagram, scroll what Fulano posted today because it's crazy like what he's doing. Completely ignoring what you're telling me. And yeah, scroll. You see, so
you're not even doing it for a reason.
That's just a problem. Like, and that's what I'm saying for me. What worked, and you did it too. Staying away from it for a while.
Yeah.
Look at the difference. What it's gonna do to you, because trust me that it will.
Yeah,
it will.
It does.
And delete, and like actually delete it from your app. Like we're to the point there's an option where you can't see it. You hide it.
Yeah.
I still haven't put it back from my phone.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm like, I do go on it. Like if I'm promoting the show, or I do want to see what you or my people are posting. But or sometimes I do follow a lot of Christian stuff because I'm still learning about the Bible. So I like watching those videos that kind of give you a little bit of teaching about the Bible, right? There are healthy what's it called,
content.
Oh yeah, there is healthy content out there. You just have to look for it. But first, to look for that, you have to be able to analyze yourself and who you are following, what you are following, what good is it doing you. If it's not doing you any good and you're just getting into, I put there, right, social media is a comparison trap, because it is. So if it really speak to yourself and say, okay, I'm following these people, and this person is, let's say, going on vacation with their couple, and then you suddenly see your life, you have kids, you have this, you're not there, and
yeah, that's so true.
Now you're like, oh, I wish I was on vacation. Oh, look at that person, but that's not really the reality though.
Yeah.
You don't know how they got there. You don't know what they had to go through.
Yeah.
So it's not about comparing what that person has or what you have. And if you see that you are getting into that comparison mode, then okay, bye. I'm gonna follow you for a couple of months until I get my thing straight. Because
you're becoming a bitter person.
Yeah.
When you do stuff like that. that you're being envious of somebody else's life.
Right.
That's not good.
Mm-mm.
Didn't you write a verse like that?
Yes.
I know that you wrote a verse about that.
Well, Galatians 6:4-5. Each one should test their own actions, then they can take pride in themselves alone without comparing themselves to someone else. For each one should carry their own load. So whatever path you're in currently, God has allowed it for a reason.
You just like open my mind to something different now. And how social media can also affect you mentally and emotionally when it comes to comparing yourself to other people's life, and how it can make you bitter and sad and disappointed and frustrated with your life because you haven't reached a certain level. But who are you comparing yourself to?
Mm-hmm.
And why are you comparing yourself to that person? Why? You shouldn't. Everyone lives their life according to what they can at that moment. So if social media has that power over you to make you feel those emotions,
then that's when you know you need to stay away.
cut it off.
Yeah.
Cut it off, because that's not good for your mental state.
That's what I'm saying. You need to be honest with yourself. If you same, it comes to relationships. Sorry, if we go back onto the topic, if let's say you're with your couple and you're feeling insecure, because now these are all things, what I put there is based on what I felt at a certain point of time. You feel insecure because you start following women with a better body, or same thing, you see how couples are living, and then you see how your relationship is with that person and it's not that way, and you start getting into, again, comparing, feeling insecure, feeling sad, feeling angry. Then all of those things are a sign that social media is not doing anything good for you.
No.
So you have to stay away from it. You have to be able to admit to yourself, oh, I'm feeling insecure. That's it.
Yeah.
It starts with unfollowing what is not bringing you any good. But if you're not able to do that, then just staying away from it in general for a while, I think is something a lot of people have to learn how to do.
Well, you have this verse that you also put here in Proverbs 4:23 that says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. So I didn't even think we were going to get to this side of like social media can do that to you, but it can, because I'm like visualizing, people and how I used to hear conversations and how they used to get and how they used to feel about certain individuals, and making little comments here and there, like, oh, did you see that one, what they posted the other day? They're going traveling again. Why does it bother you that they're traveling? Why does it bother you? Let them travel. If they have the funds, let them travel. Above all else, guard your heart. Again, we're going back to the same thing we started.
It's a heart condition.
It's a heart condition. If social media makes you miserable and makes you feel jealous,
then get away from
don't
it.
have it, man.
Yeah, get away from
Get
it.
out of it. If it makes you feel that way, no. If it's just little comments, like I could just like, I hear all of them just coming at me now, and I'm like, why are you even looking at their page? Then get out.
Yeah.
If you don't have nothing good to say, don't say it. Don't say anything. Don't even open your mouth.
And it goes back to an episode that we were talking about before. Find something better to do.
Read the Bible.
Read books. Find, you have a passion for something, start doing, you have to be intentional with it. Okay, not just say, because we gotta be realistic, right? Like okay, I'm gonna get away from social media, I won't use it, guys. Like, I'm being so serious. And then you look at your phone, the app is still there, you're gonna get back on it. Like, it's automatic. Or you're just like, I don't know what else to do. Like, find something to do. If
I didn't even think this conversation was going to go this way when it came to social media affecting people that way, that they make it such a priority in their lives to be in
Oh,
everybody's
yeah.
business, like, Patty La Chimosa. Um, so if that's who you are, don't just get away from it, because it's just gonna keep making you become this miserable person, wanting somebody else's life and knowing that you can't have it, instead of making something out of yourself.
Right.
You use social media to help you improve,
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
that's what I use.
Exactly.
Social media has helped me so much, and
Mhm.
especially educating myself in certain topics, and I'm like, this is why I'm using it for.
Right.
So
No.
it's the intention of why you're using social media for.
For me personally, as I started getting into this path with God and like really, especially this past year since 2024, but he has been like slowly, making me realize what social media was doing to me since 2021. Like little by little realizing, okay, now obviously my stubborn self was still like, no, 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 like that's not the issue, right? But no, little by little, so I started unfollowing. And I'm giving you advice based on what I did, you know little by little start unfollowing whatever. Be honest with yourself, that's the first part. Then little by little unfollowing what's not bringing you any joy, what's not bringing you any happiness, and look for encouraging
Yeah.
stuff. Now, I started with my mind, psychology wise. I started following like encouraging podcasts, like people that started building confidence in you, because that was my, again, this is for me. This is what worked for me, that I went through insecurities. So what could build my confidence? So
Yeah.
instead of following women that had, such a nice body, then I started following women with the opposite, but that still felt confident with themselves. There are women out there that, might not have what people call the definition of a perfect body, but they're still so joyful. They're still so confident. They still feel good about themselves. So start following people like that are still have a sense of joy on what they have, that, post encouraging stuff, that want to help other women, that have these type of podcasts, these type of books,
Yeah.
that actually want to do something good with it, with good intention. We want to write these books to build women, not to discourage them, not to bring insecurities. So I started doing that. Then little by little, God kept working on me, and little by little I started now, reading more about the Bible, following more Christian content.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Because reading the Bible is, when you start reading at the beginning, you don't it's hard,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's why every day you have to ask God for guidance. But until you start, that's why, if we do live in a modern world with technology, then use it for your benefit.
Mm.
Okay, the reading has never been for me, it has for me, but there are people that are like, I don't want to read. Okay, so how about you start watching videos that talk about the Bible, that do this content. So it's just having one, being honest with yourself about what social media is making you feel.
Yeah.
And then two, start using it more wisely. Start using it with a correct intention.
Yeah.
With what
Yeah.
it really should be.
Yeah.
Because it really can encourage you and to grow as well, right? There's a lot of businesses. There's what we're doing right now with podcasts, right? It requires technology. It requires for us to post and do this. But then if we're shifting away from that and going back to what we used to, then we're not like using it in the correct way. So it's just having, like you said, that balance, recognizing what you feel, being able to just submit to God and have him take care of everything that you're feeling. And then from there, he will work.
Social media is not a bad thing, you guys. We don't want to promote that. We don't want to say that. It's just the intention of why you're using social media for. How is it taking your time? How does it distract you from, you growing as a person? Because you could sit there for hours and scroll. That's why, you want to know something? it's funny because I feel like the Holy Spirit was the one who convicted me from this when it came to TikTok. And I remember one day I was on it and I was just like scrolling like crazy. And I don't know how many hours passed, you guys. And all I hear in my ear is TikTok, 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 TikTok. And I'm like, what? That's why it's called TikTok. Because you could spend there. You could spend hours on there and the time is just going to go by and all you hear is TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. Uh-huh. Eunice said I couldn't hear you in my ear, but she said that's how the enemy distracts you, and social media can be distracting in your relationship present, in your friendships, and your relationship with God as well.
That's the main one.
And you have to be careful. I think you need to, when it comes to your mate, always have a time that you're phone free. Put it on the side and say, this is our time. Not that you're gonna watch a movie and the phone is right there and the movie's watching you but you're on your phone. Like that's mostly what happens nowadays.
Right.
Put the phone on the side. Put a limit on yourself when it comes to scrolling. I have on my phone, it tells me how the percentage of how much I spend a day on my phone.
There's a time limit. There is. So if you really look at it, technology can also like help you, but some people, that's not what they promote much, because it does now. I don't know about Androids, but at least iPhones have they tell you how much you've been on any app that you have on your phone.
Yeah.
Look at that every day before you go to sleep. And if there is an extensive amount of time there that you should have been using elsewhere.
No, when I saw that first number that it said how many hours you spend on it today, like the first time I saw that, I'm like, how? Like, how did I spend so many hours? You just don't realize it.
Yeah.
You just don't realize it. So, yeah, I feel like social media is good depending on what you're using it for. And social media can also be a curse on your life because it can dominate you and you don't even know that you're addicted to it. So we just want for you to become aware of this as a person. And if you're in a relationship where social media matters the most in relationship, because if I can't hand you my phone and you can't hand me yours because you don't want me to see what's in there, we have a problem.
Oh,
We have a problem. So we have a pause moment right now. So I'm not saying to do it, but I'm just saying, would you trust? What trust? Of course you have to. That's the person you're with. You know, if somebody was to tell you, hand the phone over to your mate right now, would that be okay? But not just that they get to go into your social media and see who you're following, who's following that person, the inbox. TikTok. For some, it's probably like, oh no, here, honey, she has my password. He has my password. Oh, that's great. I love that. That. But if there is a relationship out there that, you know, social media can ruin, then this is your warning. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop and fix it.
And I wrote something here that a challenge.
Oh, go ahead.
Try a social media Sabbath for a day. I did it for like my fast, but you know, for a day, and really focus on what's around you. And this goes for adults, teenagers, kids, like anybody. Really.
Yeah.
I know right now we live in a world where it's affecting the youth the most.
Uh-huh.
But sometimes adults themselves don't want to admit that they are also addicted to their phones, to social media. Now, if you are using technology for proper reasons,
Of
that's not
course.
what it means.
Yeah.
If your business depends on you,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
not what that means. But just social media in general, just leave it just for a day. You could do a week, but
Or like the word you used, unplug.
mm,
Unplug for even if you can't do that because if it is an addiction that you have, that's hard to do.
oh yeah,
It's hard to do. Just try to be present with whoever you're with.
Mm.
Put that phone away in your purse, in your pocket, and be present with the person who's in front of you. And have that. Don't let the phone be your comfort. Don't let it be your safe place.
yeah.
No.
If it helps, turn it off.
Yeah.
Turn it off.
Yeah.
I know that it's hard for some people that have it on. It's like it's automatic. They just go turn it off.
Yeah, for people who are always on their cell phones, they're the hardest to reach.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's laughing in here. I don't know why. Everybody's laughing in here. Am I making that
up? No, you're right.
Like, we are all on our cell phones all day long. But for those who are working, I understand that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. It's just funny. This topic can be funny.
Just had to add that little one. You should put like silly music in the background when I'm saying that.
The point is, again, social media or just technology in general just has to be used properly with intention, and don't lose focus on what you have around you, because there will come a time, unfortunately, where you're gonna regret not being present around your loved ones. And we go back, right? I know we were going off a little bit of topic, but we go back to relationships, and that's what you need to be present with your loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
Show them love, show them that you care, and this is something that if you were too focused on social media, you were too focused on technology more than them when they are trying to speak to you, or when you guys are there as a family, and that doesn't show love, that doesn't show care, that doesn't show effort. That just, you're just putting that as a priority instead of your loved ones. So do something different for this month. And Valentine's Day already passed technically, but if you didn't do it
that should be like everybody's Valentine's Day gift to each other.
Mm-hmm.
No phone for the day. No phone for the
phone.
day. Just you and me, honey. Let's make it special. Like, in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. How many couples can do that nowadays? But let's go to our Bible verse jar.
Melanie just cuts it off.
Because this is man, these topics, honestly, I feel like every topic that we have mentioned so far really deserved like 2 episodes each.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but I think everybody gets the point.
Yeah, I think sometimes we just keep repeating. Es como se dice en español, disco rayado.
Repetition is good. Repetition is in the Bible all the time. Some people can't just listen to it once because it goes one ear, comes out the other. But when you say it again, they're like, but why is she saying it again? When you say it a third time, it's like, why? Again? Yeah.
Again.
We have to keep doing it again because it's obviously is something that is destroying marriages, it's destroying friendships, it's destroying relationships. Social media, I see it all the time. I see when husband and wives are talking to each other and one is on the phone and the other one's trying to say something. Can you get off your phone for a second? It's an issue. We have an issue when it comes to cell phones, even in friendships. It's the same thing. And then it's just like, I think I heard you tell me that. Of course you think, because the other half of you was on the phone. So you heard the conversation halfway. So it is an issue. And this needs to be talked about. And now you were confronted by it. And I hope that you examine yourself and you can look at yourself from the outside and be like, yeah, I kind of do that. I kind of do have an addiction to my phone. And we challenge you. Don't get on the phone for a whole hour. Oh, better, yeah, a half hour. Let's make it smaller. Small challenges are better. Half hour. See how you feel after a half hour.
If you're like, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Like if you get that tickly feeling, I feel like something's missing. Some people can't even be without their phones in their hands.
No, they go crazy.
That's when you know that there's.
You walk out of your house without the cell phone and you're in your car, you will literally go back to go get it.
It is an addiction, and I think people need to start admitting that it's an addiction.
First step.
And then try the challenge we gave you.
Yeah.
So, as you said, repetition is good. So we go back to our Bible verse jar.
It's your turn.
It is my turn?
Yes.
I'm supposed to leave it in the middle.
It's okay.
I keep forgetting. It's okay. Repetition. Don't put it. Ooh. Proverbs 29:22. A man of wrath stirs up strife, and one giving to anger causes much transgression.
Social media causes anger with people.
There's a lot of emotions that you should not be feeling. That is not what God intends us to feel every day. So if it is bringing these negative emotions, not good, guys.
And it's stopping you from fulfilling your dreams. Get off of social media. It takes too much of your time.
Yes, it does.
Get off of it.
Repeat it.
Start living life. Be present.
Do something good for your life.
And subscribe to our craziness.
Yes. Subscribe, comment, and share.